Hope the screen is visible. Is the screen visible? Okay, so this is the first talk of this series of guest speakers that we have in Arna Gen Next. And we have Dr. Srinivasa Rao, an entrepreneurial scientist in food and wellness. So more about him in details in a few minutes. So this is our team, our company, Arna Gen Next. So these are the co-founders, these wonderful ladies, Sujata Gokhale, Renuka Khelkar, have joined hands in this endeavor to bring about everything related to the microbiome. This is a microbiome resource platform that we are looking at, where we provide different kinds of solutions. These are some of the services that we provide that include courses related to the human microbiome for all students of life sciences, medicine, and nutrition. We have mobile apps for children to develop healthy eating habits. We also conduct research related to the microbiome. We have our own wellness programs, products, outreach, and webinar, just to mention very briefly. So here we are looking at the Human Microbiome Course that we offer for all students of life sciences. It's an NEP-based 2 or 3 credit course. It is a 30-hour course. There are colleges in India who are already enrolled, who have signed an MOU with us. Students are already doing this digital course as an elective. So if you are interested, or if anybody is interested in taking this course, do connect with us later. So this is just a little bit about the course. It is for everyone who is pursuing their master's, bachelor's, PhD in any stream of life sciences, nutrition, or medicine, or even professionals in this field. And this is a course that is endorsed and certified by MBSI, or Microbiologist Society of India. There's also our microbiome superhero app that I just mentioned. This is for children to learn more about the gut microbiome and to develop healthy habits to improve their microbiome. We also have our very unique Shatayushi 360 degrees total transformation program to reverse chronic diseases, to try and prevent all kinds of diseases, to improve overall physical, mental, and emotional health. And we recently started a wonderful series of podcasts where we invite guest speakers to give wonderful insights about different aspects of the microbiome. So do check it out on our YouTube channel. This is our social media. We are Microbiome Superhero on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Super Microbiome on Twitter. Do join our community. So looking at our scientific advisory team, we have these wonderful scientists on our panel. Dr. Srinivasa Rao is one of them, Dr. Anjali Kulkarni, and Dr. Radhika Hedao. So we have Dr. Rao here for our first talk. So when I introduce him, there's just, I can go on and on about what he does. He's based in New York, USA. His vast knowledge about nutrition and genetics is just amazing, very inspiring. He's a biomedical scientist, an experienced educator, innovator, and he has a wonderful, vast teaching experience as adjunct visiting faculty in cell and molecular biology, developmental biology, biotechnology at City University of New York, USA. He's very passionate about health and nutrition, and this has led him to introduce quinoa farming in India. And he has also followed the development of high protein rice variety and green salt for plants. I know him from my days in Ahar Kranti. We have worked very closely together. He's a senior advisor for Ahar Kranti, the nationwide movement on nutritional awareness and solutions. He's also a prominent member, as you saw, on our scientific advisory team. So one interesting thing that happened 3 years ago when we both were giving a talk, when Dr. Rao was one of the organizers of this event at IISF. So I remember that we had the same slide in our talks, and it was about the microbiome. So that's where we connected. And with this introduction, I just want to welcome Dr. Rao here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and the floor is all yours. Thank you so much.
Namaste. Thank you, Rashmiji, for that introduction. In the next several minutes, I will present a few things about food and nutrition where people have many misconceptions. And these misconceptions come because of the myths that are promulgated by various groups, knowingly and unknowingly. Let me share again. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Dr. Rao.
I just have to go into the presentation mode. Can you see the full screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Food and nutrition have been the subject ever since probably man has started really thinking about, or even before, because without which you cannot survive. That's the reason why this is so important. In spite of the fact that enormous amount of science has developed, vast majority of volumes written about our by ancestors in Ayurveda about food, we still have so many myths, and I'm glad Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni and her team has taken this as the first step to introduce you the notions of what is myth and what is reality. We all live just like leaves till a good age, middle age, 40 or so, very comfortable, as seen here as green, and then slowly wither away and fall off or die. But with a vast majority of the ancient knowledge and the modern artificial intelligence, we have no doubt in the last 2-3 years, we are very clear that we can live up to 120 years very healthy and happy. In this presentation, I want to do 3 introductions. The first introduction is about what is body in a very simple words, and then what is food, and then what are the myths. The body you can explain in many ways, but the simplest way to understand with the modern knowledge and the modern attitude is body is a factory. It's a $1 million factory, million molecule factory. Dr. Fritz Kahn in the last century worked on it and made it very clear human body is a million molecule factory. And metabolomics, an organization that is having a database, is chronicling all these molecules, and now they have more than 245,000 molecules. What is the function of this factory? The factory takes food and gives energy, then you live and you do whatever you wish to do. That's the only basic function other than procreation, having children. And the body as a factory has these 3 different aspects as nuts and bolts. One is genome, 20,000, proteome, 620,000 molecules, and metabolome, a million molecules. The interplay of these things is what is running your body as a factory. Genome, epigenome, transcriptome, proteome, metabolome, microbiome. That is the main subject of this company, superheroes, microbiome superheroes. And just after that is what is your everyday physiology and pathophysiology. That's the reason why microbiome is so important. But unfortunately, this is not the mainstream subject anywhere in the world, not only in India. Especially, doctors also have to be educated about this microbiome. So I'm glad that microbiome superheroes, the three founders, have taken such a bold step to name their company for microbiome. And this is going to make a big change in the future and near future. This is where we focus all our health issues. Now, what is food? Most of you know, but for the sake of completeness, I would say food, any food, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, it has 6 different components at different levels. One is carbohydrate, proteins, fats, minerals, antioxidants, and vitamins. If you take food and if there is a balance of these things properly, then health is ensured without any problem. How can I say that without any problem, health is ensured? I'm sure you all definitely will appreciate if I say of all the thousands of species on earth, animals, whether it is elephant, tiger, or a rat, mice, whatever, dogs, birds, none of them have pharma industry, doctors, and medicines. Each one of them is their own doctor, and each one of them depend on nature to get all these components of food that what we have mentioned here. However, in the last 300-400 years, we have developed medicines based on chemicals, and therefore we need to unlearn and relearn about food. Why did we get into the chemicals and medicines? Because our knowledge about human body has given us various tools to play with the body's functions. And to play with that, you need molecules. And the molecules have come from chemistry, unfortunately, because like today's IT, information technology, computers, AI, 200 years, 300 years back, chemists dominated the world of science, like the IT people are dominating now. Because the European women wanted to have colors to their dress materials. Therefore, enormous amount of chemistry power was put into making dyes because that was fetching good money. Later, all these scientists have focused on various other aspects, and one of the aspects is health and medicine. Therefore, we ended up having pharma industry, chemicals, as our supporters of maintaining good health rather than food. Obviously, you all know Ayurveda did not take up this route. Ayurveda has taken food and the food preparations or medicines based on materials from nature, not from industry. Human life, the general course of human life and health. From the birth onwards till approximately 40 years after the maturity, we peak, and that is the wonderful time with all the metabolism, brain functions, body functions at peak. And if we don't do anything, just let it go, then it will take a normal course of coming down, and by 60s and after 60s, it will double its capacity, not to, it doubles its capacity in many different ways, in negative ways, and comes down, and death may occur anywhere before 85. Whereas if we pay attention and take a preventive measures, we may extend by another 10, 20 years. But with the modern knowledge and the artificial intelligence tools, we can have a very serious intervention and continue that peak stage or maturity stage for a longer period than what is happening right now. At some point of time in future, man can decide when to die. Man in the near future can decide how to live healthy. Now, coming back to the food. Global health and mortality risk factors. I showed you the natural course, but people are interested to know why our health is affected by various factors and how it is affecting our health and mortality, and what are the causes and which are the risk factors and how do they rank. As shown in this slide, 11 million deaths were analyzed across various countries from different hospitals. It's a huge operation. This was done in 2017 by an institute here in the United States. And they concluded that dietary risk stands on the top of everything. That is food. Food is the main reason why our health is affected, changed, and leading to mortality or death. Why is it so? Because it has the serious implication, the food has serious implication of nutritional deficiencies. These nutritional deficiencies cause this human factory not to function well. Any factory or anyone who do not function well will end up in bad state. That bad state is what we call as disease. And if it is neglected and it progresses, that becomes very serious, eventually leading to death. Let us look at the current food habits of South Asians. This is done by Lancet Commission on Food, EAT. It's called EAT Commission. And the circle here shows that various food item groups that what we have to eat should be touching the circle at 100%. The food groups are red meat, starchy vegetables, eggs, poultry, dairy foods, fish, vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, and nuts. If we eat all of them properly, as I said earlier, like all the birds, animals, elephants, we do not, will not, cannot get into diseases. That's what the animals do, all the other animals. But we don't do that. What are we doing? Because of our ability to manipulate our health and food, we are consuming a lot of starch, disproportionate amount to the health. And therefore, the 125% consumption of starch is not good for us. We have to increase the other things. And if we make this complete, it will be good. And Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni can later talk to you about the microbiome and the relation for all these food items. That is a very fascinating subject. Each food item, each food group has a bearing on the microbiome, which can change your health for better. All the food goes into the gut. Just see this gut itself has the root cause of various problems. Gut, I mean the food and the combination of gut microbiome. Cardiometabolic diseases, cancers, infections, neurological diseases, inflammation, all of them have their roots here. And this itself is a big subject. I hope the superheroes team will take it up separately in connection with microbiome. Then what is the real reason why I accepted and why I strongly believe that food, gut biome do hold all the important points or solutions for our health? Here is an experiment done by two professors, one from Sweden, Lund University, another from Italy in Rome, Cilento. In Cilento, this professor is in health and food. He's a scientist as well as a physician, both of them. And they decided, what if we change the food of people? Will they be responding to have better health? Generally, it is believed that the Mediterranean diet is very healthy. So they decided to bring 60 people. Mean age is 69 years, all seniors. Take them from Sweden to Cilento in Italy, Mediterranean region, 2,145 kilometers away, and keep them for a week with only one instruction. These Swedish people who are habituated to eat heavy non-vegetarian food, potatoes, butter, beer, should not ask for Swedish food in Cilento. They should eat tomatoes, olive oil, wine, red wine, and the local food, meats, whatever is available. In 1 week, all their blood parameters, 60 of the parameters were checked in the blood. Before and after, they found they changed for a better health. And the significance of that is, if you change your diet, you definitely can improve your health. But all these things are known. Governments are publishing reports, national food policy, and various doctors are suggesting, various newspapers are suggesting, this is good, that is good, this is not good, that's not good. Then why do we have the confusion? We have the confusion because the recommendations given by various organizations fall into three categories. The first category is population level. Whatever the government of any country says is in the interest of all the people. Here, all the people are represented in different colors. So whatever recommendations they give, they are good for the country. But when it comes to groups of people, which are separated into different colors here, each one may have a different requirement rather than all the requirements that were suggested to the public. And the next level comes individual. Individuals, based on their genetic, environmental, and food habits or their tastes, they have to follow different level of recommendations. This is what is missing in the countries or in the population at a large scale. You take something that is given for the entire nation and say, oh, that is not good for me. Therefore, I hope with these kind of presentations and microbiome superheroes work at a social level will change these perceptions, and people will come to take their own personal health and the food choices based on their own genetic microbiome compositions. Now, let's see some myths and reality. I have put together some 22 myths and realities here, and I will give you the strong evidence to show that these myths, why they are myths. In view of time, I may not be able to show for all of them, but I'll show for some very serious myths or group them into some and give you the reality check for those myths. The first myth in the populations everywhere, anywhere in the country, here or there or many, many countries is carbohydrates make you fat. Carbohydrates are bad. Carbohydrates should not be eaten. All those myths. Why they are myths? The first factor. This human body needs carbs and uses carbs as an essential element for energy. Fats are used as secondary rather than the primary. Fats are used as energy source in special circumstances rather than everyday needs. The reality further goes to say it's excessive calories, not carbohydrates alone, that contribute to weight gain and thereby obesity, thereby many, many problems in the body, eventually leading to disease. The next myth about the macromolecules, what we call carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are macromolecules. High protein diets are the best for losing weight. It's actually converse of the first one. They want you to stop eating carbohydrates and increase protein or fat. When you take high protein diets, sure, there may be some value initially, but when the balance is lost, they will harm the health. Because excess protein is converted eventually into fat and it's stored in the body as fat. So balance is the key rather than high protein or high carbohydrate. The next one is skipping meals helps with weight loss. This is another serious myth. Skipping meals can often lead to overeating later and may negatively impact metabolism. Look at this experiment that was done and very well accepted for a long time. And this experiment is done with a group of people. Some are given ultra-processed diet, that is like burgers. And the other group is given unprocessed diet, the same materials of wheat, bread, vegetables, meat, everything is almost identical. Except the difference is the ultra-processed diet is processed in the companies, the buns are made, whereas here, unprocessed one, the bread is made then and there. Diets are presented in random order and matched for provided calories, identical calories, sugar, fat, fiber, and macronutrients. Macronutrients meaning carbohydrate, protein, fat. The blue line represents the ultra-processed diet. The red line represents the unprocessed diet. Again, before we get into the details, I would remind you Both are identical in the materials and calories. The difference is one is processed much more, the other one is cooked, made at home without industrial processing. Definitely, any food that you eat, you have to process, cook, prepare. So the result is the ultra processed diet, people are asked to eat as much as they want. Ultra processed diet was taken up to 3,000 calories very easily. Whereas the unprocessed diet was taken no more than 2,500 calories. So if you give them the same kind of food and ask them to eat as much as they want, ultra processed food will be consumed much more in terms of calories, and that results in weight gain. Body weight gain of ultra processed food is very high compared to unprocessed diet. Therefore, all those three that I mentioned before are definitely myths, and the key is you take the unprocessed, balanced diet. Next set of myths. Microwaving food destroys nutrients. This is not right, because the process of microwaving is when you put food in the microwaves go and hit the molecules of the food, and the oscillations of those molecules create heat inside, and thereby all the molecules get the same amount of treatment. Whereas when you heat it up on a stove or some other place, the outer layers will get more heat, and the nutrients of that are spoiled compared to the inner ones. Gluten-free diets are healthier. I definitely have studied this very well, and as Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni mentioned, I introduced the quinoa farming in South India. At that time, I did not know anyone. Later, of course, there are so many who are doing it, and there are 100 brands of quinoa. Yet, quinoa is a gluten-free diet. Yet, I would say gluten-free diets are essential for those with celiac disease or some such situation where they need it, but there is no need, but there is no evidence that they are healthier if they eat only those by the general population. Detox diets and cleanliness are necessary to purge toxins. Body's liver and kidneys are very effective in removing toxins. You do not need any special diets to offer to detox your body. Fresh produce is healthier than frozen or canned. This is another popular myth. Frozen and canned produces can be as just nutritious, sometimes even more so, if they are processed at peak ripeness. The difference is fresh produce, if taken and you buy that, keep it in your fridge. It will lie around for 3 to 4 days, maybe a week, and slowly the nutrients values come down. Whereas if industrial process, when they are freezing these food items, they would like to do at the best or the peak of the food value and preserve in a nice way, not with chemicals, but freezing them. Therefore, I would suggest very strongly that if you are to eat fresh food on the same day, great. If you cannot, then frozen is not bad at all. The next one is eating banana is bad for diabetics, and there are so many positive and negative comments about banana. I'm sure you all agree, banana is a very common thing and you all want to eat, but the myths preclude. Here, I would like to show you banana is nutritious, but should know what is the right banana to eat. The same banana what you buy may be right, may not be right. Let us see how. If you have seen this kind of picture, which is widely published by this Australian group, this is the best to explain many, many myths about food. If you take the less ripe or underripe banana, it has highest resistant starch. It's a great source of prebiotics for gut health and food map friendly. If you leave it after cutting or on the plant, banana plant, high fiber and low sugar will be seen in a barely ripe banana. The color of these changes, as you all know very well, it eventually goes to a darker side. So if you are interested in high fiber, low sugar, barely ripe banana is good. But if you need high antioxidants and good fiber, and you are not that much worried about sugar, this is the ripe, correct time to eat that banana. And at this stage, when it is ripe, its sugar levels will be higher than the barely ripe. Depending on your diabetic situation, you can adjust how much you have to eat. And if you leave it further, the very ripe one, it starts losing all its positive nutritive values. Vitamins will be at lowest level, and minerals will not be in a bioavailable state. And the very ripe is not good at all. And the overripe is not at all good for diabetics or general public, but it has a different purpose. It will have highest sugars. If some preparation needs high sugars of banana type, then maybe this is good. The next one is eating fat makes you fat. In fact, this is one of the serious myths. Eating healthy fats, again, I'm stressing healthy fats, is essential for the body. Problems arise from excessive intake of unhealthy fats and overall calorie surplus. This subject itself is a big one. And why is it so? Again, depends on what kind of biome you have, gut biome. But in general, eating fat does not make you fat because body has various systems to control. At the same time, it doesn't harm you too. Here is an example of heart disease. Everybody knows that eating meat with high fat, eggs with cholesterol and other things can cause, in conjunction with the gut biome, some molecules will be turned into fat molecules, and these are going to form atherosclerotic plaques, and that leads to heart disease. Whereas if you eat the same food with garlic and olive oil, red wine, the molecules in them actually stop the fat to progress towards molecules that are necessary to make the plaque. Therefore, the plaque is not formed. There's a long-standing study called French paradox. French people drink alcohol as much as the Britishers, but the cardiac diseases, cardiac problems in France are much less than Britishers. Both eat cheese, both drink alcohol, but the types are different. They don't eat different. British do not take much wine, whereas the French takes wine. So the combination of foods can balance, and fat need not be bad if you take it in the right way. Dairy is bad for adults. This is another big myth, which is not true, but various groups are trying to promote this. One has to understand, like earlier I said, individual recommendations are different from the group recommendations, are different from the country recommendations. The individual recommendation, if someone has lactose intolerance, yes, milk is not good. You need to have something without lactose. If you have some intolerances, yes. But otherwise, dairy can be a valuable source of calcium and protein. Tolerance varies, and some may be lactose intolerant, and therefore, for them, dairy is bad. Sugar-free products are healthier. Sugar-free doesn't mean calorie-free. When someone writes on the label that sugar-free doesn't mean it has no calories. It probably do not have calories from carbohydrates. Therefore, be careful. Sugar-free is a very, very misleading, and it is a myth that is actually used by the marketing people to make you buy their products. All organic food is healthier. Organic refers to farming method, nothing to do with the food. While it may have environmental benefits, yes, it will. It doesn't automatically make the food healthier. Organic here means pesticides and fertilizers sprayed on the plant. If they are not washed properly, treated properly, processed properly, yes, the chemicals, fertilizers, and pesticides are harmful to you, but it has nothing to do with the food. So be very careful about what you choose as organic versus non-organic. Plants do not have all protein you need. Ever since I came to West in 1980s, everybody says, "Oh, you are a vegetarian. How can you survive?" And my simple answer is, the very fact that I survived and my ancestors survived is proof enough that plants have enough protein and the right proteins for humans to live well. Look at this. We have 40 different types of legumes, beans, which can contribute to our protein source. 6 students of mine and I spent several months putting all these things together, analyzing them, lot of data. It can almost become a book, but somehow those students finished their college during the pandemic time. They didn't have anything, college was closed, so we did that. But after that, they got jobs. Obviously, they are all doing well, so they did not focus on this book, but this can be a book by itself. Yes, it is true, the plant proteins, amino acid composition is different from animal protein amino acid composition. Animal protein amino acid composition is very good for humans, no doubt about it. But if you want to get the same with the plants, you have to combine different legumes, different food items to get the same amino acid composition that is required for human body. Vegetarian or vegan diet foods do not give enough muscle growth. This is again a myth, and it is not really tested rigorously until recently. It was tested rigorously recently and shown by the latest science. But one simple example that I can give you, elephants are vegetarian. Elephants do not drink milk after they grow from baby stage. Yet, they have plenty of strength. There's an experiment that was done in Brazil. The research labs have taken grams of protein per kilo per body per day, and they got the same muscle mass gain and same strength of the people who are training for high growth of muscles. Protein source does not affect resistance training induced adaptation in untrained young men consuming adequate amounts of protein. The key here is consuming adequate. Each one needs to have their own body calculations made properly for the goal of growing their muscles and consume sufficient protein, and they surely will have enough protein. You need to eat superfoods for good health. Once again, this is a subject that I'm very close to. Quinoa is one of the superfoods. I promoted it a lot. Yet, I would say very clearly, you need not eat superfood for good health. A varied and balanced diet is key to the good health. Because we are in the modern lifestyle of not hard work, some kind of superfoods are needed, but for vast majority of the public who are working normal, living normal, and having sufficient manual labor kind of work, do not need superfoods. Vitamin supplements are necessary for everyone. This is a huge market, and billions of dollars of supplement market makes this happen. But the reality is this: most people can get their nutrients from balanced diet. Supplements are only necessary in specific cases as recommended by your health provider. Here, every human body has certain requirements of nutrients. Some nutrients are called essential nutrients, some are called non-essential nutrients. Essential nutrients mean they actually have to be taken by you through food. And the rest of the nutrients, body can produce on its own. Obviously, a younger person, babies, they produce much better than the older people. As we age, the ability to produce these not so essential or normal nutrients may come down, and therefore we need supplements. Otherwise, supplements are not necessary for everyone. Natural and artisanal foods are always better. This is another thing promoted by various groups, that the local food is great, foreign food is bad, all those things. Absolutely, there is no scientific evidence or truth and logic to that. These labels do not necessarily reflect nutritional values and can sometimes be marketing tactics. Humans are carnivores, so vegetarian food is not good. This myth is very widely known across the world, but it is not really so. Showing the gut size, everybody can be convinced that we are neither vegetarians nor carnivores. Depending on your taste, depending on your situation, depending on your condition, you can be eating meat or you need not eat meat. Look at this. The gut size of all the carnivores is 3 to 6 times of its length. The gut size of all the herbivores is 10 to 12 times, which means much longer than carnivores. And humans, it is 10 to 11 times, which is very close to herbivores than to carnivores. So either way, it's your choice, but there is no obligation, there is no strict requirement that you have to eat meat. You should eat small meals several times and large meals one time. There are so many variations of this myth. When to eat, when not to eat. Eating late night, it causes the weight gain. And this when to eat itself is a presentation that I made earlier. The whole subject is one single presentation. And I sum up the whole thing here. In the 24-hour cycle, from the time you get up, avoid food for at least 1 hour, because body automatically pushes energy for you to get ready. And then from 8 o'clock onwards, or after 1 or 2 hours from your wake-up time, till evening, in the 10 hours time, eat as much as you wish. 8 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours. Without any restrictions, if you eat, and do not eat after that period totally, and then the body will get accustomed to. Just imagine you are giving food to the body. When you give food to the body, not only your mouth, from mouth onwards, every single organ that is concerned with your body's functions for the digestion have to function. It is like an orchestra. Each one has to do its role at a certain period of time. So if you constantly keep giving food in 24 hours, these organs cannot function well. And therefore, a huge amount of research is out, clear, and says that you have to restrict eating to a certain period and get your body used to it. It's called time restricted eating. And then that will give your body and other organs good time to process them well. You should drink 8 glasses of water a day and continuously. Water needs vary. It's best to drink according to thirst and individual needs, but there's one simple rule from Ayurveda. I want you to listen.
Hi Disha.
People say water is good to drink, buttermilk is good to drink, and also milk is good to drink. So which one should we consume in a day? I'm really confused.
Oh, okay. So you want to know how to drink and use all these three things. Okay. All these three things are good, Disha. You know how to consume. There is a beautiful shloka for this. Bhojanante pibet takram. That is, at the end of the meals, you have to take buttermilk. Vasarante pibet payaha. At the end of the day, you have to drink milk. Nishante cha pibet vari. Nishante means at the end of the night, that is in the morning, you have to drink vari. That is water. Tribhir dosho na jayate. So if you follow it like this, your doshas will be balanced in the body and you can remain disease free.
So, there's a great knowledge that we have. This is a 1-minute Ayurveda that I gave you through Dr. Rajeshwari from Bangalore. And there are so many things that in that manner that we can understand, and your myths can be taken off if you follow it with the support of thousands of years or hundreds of years of experience by various physicians. And the last myth that I want to discuss today is plant-based food do not have vitamin A. Yes, any chemist can say that plants do not produce vitamin A. The carotenoids in the plants can be used by the body to make all the molecules needed for the body, including vitamin A. So the second sentence is not, they do not say, therefore you think that there are no plant-based food items that are good for vitamin A. Look at this. I have published this article already on my LinkedIn. There are more than 100 items, food items, roughly and crudely to say that any colored material will have carotenoids or some kind of molecules that can be converted by the body into various forms, eventually leading into vitamin A also. Now, for scientists, doctors, people in the field of research, it is a very difficult and complex thing. Because whatever I said today, some people can come and argue with me. But common man, how will they handle everyday life? Let's say I want to have lunch. Taking all these myths away, taking all this knowledge into, and how to make my healthy meal. Fortunately, the programs based on artificial intelligence are coming out so well. I prepared your lunch for a Maharashtrian vegetarian meal. Also, I said, it's for a diabetic person, overweight person, we need high fiber, low carb, and healthy fats. It has given the main course, side dishes, salad, and 3 more to prepare for your lunch. Main course, I assume that some of you are Maharashtrians and you know these words: bhakri, moong dal khichdi, kosambre, and condiments, shenganda chutney, chia seeds, pudding with a hint of cardamom, and sol khadi. Some of them I don't know, but next time when I'm in Pune, I would like to try. This is just made in 1 minute, and you can prepare this way, and this certainly will be very healthy. We are getting into a new era. There are 3 major things that are happening in the next few years. Some of them are going to be in reality. 1, engineering longevity. It is happening. There's a full subject that I spoke in another presentation, but we can have a separate one. Increasing lifespan is possible. Dr. David Sinclair, seen here, has already shown that his age is much less than what he chronologically belongs to. And in fact, I checked my age. I'm 65, but my age is at least 12 years less than my chronological age, which means my biological age is less. And if I pay more attention, it could be even 20 years. And now, with all this knowledge, one of the biggest organizations in the United States, American Heart Society, this one, which is celebrating 100 years this year, is declaring that food is medicine. And the man who is in charge is Dr. Mitchell Elkind. I know him well. I called him for my shows, presentations, and we met, we discussed, and this is going to be the reality. Food is medicine. When once food is medicine, then obviously gut biome will be the key player, because without gut biome, your food has no meaning, no value. And therefore, I'm sure the superheroes microbiome is an essential and important organization in the context of human health. Why am I believing all this science? Where is the proof? There are two different things that I can give you as a proof. Number one, I published this book a while ago, and Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni also knows. We republished this for the India International Science Festival. These 10 scientists' research have saved or are still saving millions of lives every year, and calculations go by, more than 2 billion lives are saved because of this research. And our research, meaning the current day human research into these matters, eventually will merge with everything that Ayurveda and other traditional medicines have said and become our standard of care, and you will have healthier life. Then further, another angle for the proof is, this is an aeroplane in which they are loading a computer. In 1956, this is a 5 MB, 75-inch, 1-ton weight computer. But today, all of you have this smartphone, which is in 2024, it's 1 terabyte, not 5 MB, 6.4 inches, not 75 inches, 157 grams or 200 grams at the most, not a ton. That is the computer that you have in your pocket. It's roughly 1,000,000 times more powerful computer. And that's the proof that I offer that science is going to help you to live better. And more than that, there's another ancient knowledge that tells you that you surely can live well up to 100 atoms and beyond.
May we see 100 autumns. May we live 100 autumns. May we be wakeful for 100 autumns. May we attain wisdom for 100 autumns. May we be well for 100 autumns. May we adorn 100 autumns. May the autumns be more than 100. May we accomplish all this.
So any questions? You have whatever time that the organizers will allow, we can have the questions.
Yeah, I have, I can see on the chat there are two questions, Dr. Rao.
Yes.
One is the high starch diet was laid out as detrimental to health. How does that relate to myth one around carbs?
Yes, starch definitely. There are several terminologies. The complex carbohydrates are starch. And simple carbohydrates like sugars are also carbohydrates. So if you have proper digestion system and the gut microbiome helps well, high starch doesn't really affect you. When you do not have such a strong ability, obviously you have to avoid high starch.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. There's one more question here on the chat. I think it's from Dr. Anjali Kulkarni. You know, she was with us in the GIST as well, GIST.
Mhm.
So she asks, Sir, could you elaborate more on the myths about detox diets?
Yes. The main myth about that is that the body cannot handle, and therefore your diet should be detoxing it. But the reality is this: whatever diet you take, including poison, your systems will manage it. Your toxic removal diet, what it means is they're changing the composition of the diet. There is nothing special in the diet that is going to remove your toxins that are already there. If I say castor oil is a toxic removal material, yes, you can say that, because when you take castor oil, traditionally in the Indian context, to purge your gut and check your gut microbiome properly, that is used. And there are different types of, they're not diets actually, they are the different types of treatments or medicines made from the natural products which act. And any diet, there are 31 diets. Any diet that you take certainly can add value to your body. Doesn't mean that it is main function is to remove toxins. People can argue in a different way. No, if I take high antioxidant diets, they will surely cut down the toxicity or free radicals or damage to the DNA cells. Yes, if you want to call that as high antioxidant diet, as good diet to remove your toxins, detox, agreed. When these programs at Bangalore and other places, they are saying detox programs. Yes, the detox program's main goal is to influence your body with the food, exercise, and the regime so that your body will have a chance to function. No matter what kind of thing that you do, your liver and kidney are the main things to detox.
Yes, how true that is, Srinivasa Rao. Another question here, doctor mentioned quinoa a couple of times. The locally grown millets here, don't they offer the same or maybe better benefits?
Okay, so if you have time, because that is the subject that I very often talk about, and comparing the quinoa with all the millets is a very simple thing. Why do we take quinoa? Shall I stop my screen sharing? And are you able to see? What do
Yes.
you see now?
Yeah, we can see your screen. You can stop sharing if you want.
No. Are you seeing my last slide or my file explorer?
The last slide, the question slide.
Oh, okay, then it's fine. Then let me show you quinoa comparisons if you have time. Why do we need quinoa? We need quinoa because of various other factors that are there compared to rice. To start with, I have compared the various factors about quinoa and rice. And in the comparison, you can see.
Dr. Rao, we are still not able to see your screen. It's still showing the last screen that you shared.
Oh, okay. Let me stop it. because that is a slide that I want to bring from my file explorer. And if I can bring it, I will show it. Otherwise, I'll show the picture itself. Now I can just a minute. Let me bring it from some other source. What it means is the iron is higher in all the Do you have enough time, or shall I send the slide to you later? Because I'm not able to get it right away.
Okay, no problem. No worries about that. We can move to the next question if you want, or if you would like. There are a few more questions.
Yeah.
On myth about diabetic patient can't eat any sweet food.
Yes, this is a very common myth. And I would say this: early morning, if you want to take tea or coffee, and you see that 5 grams or 3 grams of sugar is bad for you, everybody think that is right. But after that, if you eat 25 grams of more food, then that is even worse. So my suggestion is, if you have to eat sweets, have a plan and do it properly. Don't really overdo it. And there is no really simple way to say that you have to stop eating sugars. But if you have the ability to control your mind, yes, you can do it. Because you do not have the ability to compare your mind, therefore people say, don't eat. But I definitely would say that between eating a heavy breakfast compared to taking coffee or tea with sugar, there's no difference. You decide which one you want, but don't do both.
Then we
Okay,
have another
thank you.
question. Nowadays, there are many products with gut microbes. Sorry, just a
Gut
second.
microbes combinations. Is
Oh,
there
gut,
an
yeah.
advice or myth?
I think Rashmi, this is a question for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was going to say.
I would love to answer that. Very good question, Dr. Upasni. Actually, there are so many products that are probiotics. If you, it's okay if I answer this, Dr. Rao. Sorry about that.
No. I was
Yes.
about to say that you should answer that, not
Yeah,
me.
because there are no regulations on all of the probiotics that are sold in the market. Unfortunately, we do not know whether the strains are actually alive, whether the count that is given on the probiotics is correct, whether they are going to reach the gut alive because of the whatever they are encapsulated in. So there are many variables in it. So we have to be very careful in going for all of these probiotics that are commercially available.
I think they add a
So it
disclaimer
is
as a
advisable.
supplement.
Yeah, supplement. The best thing is to have fermented foods instead.
Yes, the natural
At least they
probiotics are better. Gut
I mean,
microbes are better. Yes.
we can have a very long discussion on that, but I think I will stick to this
No. I
topic.
would say, sorry to stop, but I would say very clearly, it is no discussion. The facts are clear. You don't need to really be so polite about
Yes.
it.
No, because there are, foods that are providing even vitamins, minerals, all of the things that we normally people take supplements for. So, as you rightly mentioned, food provides us with everything that we need. It includes fermented foods for probiotics, it includes vitamins, minerals, fiber, everything that our body wants, and the detox also. If we are eating normally, we don't need a detox at all. So,
The
definitely. And
AI-based meal that Dr. Rao showed, how
yes.
complete it was without having any of those
Without,
probiotic
yes,
supplements.
without having anything. It had everything. That's why that is the beauty about the traditional diet, that it has everything included. We have
Yes.
one more question here. Myths on the use of mustard oil as cooking oil or as refined oil can elevate
Blood
blood
cholesterol.
cholesterol role. What type of cooking oil could be preferred? So we'll just
Before
take this one and
answering
one
that,
more. Yeah.
before answering that, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is what I want to show. This is the data from National Institute of Nutrition books, or that publication in 2017, dietary information about Indian foods. If you see sorghum, finger millet, pearl millet, little millet, common millet, rice, and quinoa. What we compared here is vitamin B5, vitamin B6, and vitamin E and iron. The debate about millets, whether they are better than quinoa or rice and all those things, they have to be taken into consideration based on the data. If you have millets to eat, yes, we are producing 10 million tons of millets in India or more. So please consume them. We are producing 100 million tons of rice, which is not having so many nutrients. So try to minimize rice and use other millets that are available to you. But if quinoa is available to you and if you can buy it, can you see the screen again? Hello?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
If quinoa is available to you and if you can buy it, which is a little bit more expensive than rice, use quinoa. Because if you are using quinoa for protein, yes. If you are quinoa for iron, yes. If you are using quinoa for vitamin E, yes. But if you are using quinoa for other vitamin B6, maybe sorghum has, ragi doesn't have, pearl has, and rice has a little bit. Therefore, you decide based on that. And that is what I said earlier, the recommendations made by people per country and group and individual. The debate today about quinoa, good or bad, is not a yes or no. Definitely, I can say strongly that whatever rice preparations that you make, all of them can be replaced with quinoa. Rice, wherever rice is used, it can be replaced with quinoa. Whereas if you use the millets, it is not so easy. We have been doing this for the last 10 years, and we know for sure that is the fact. And coming to the oils, definitely oils is not my area, but there's a full presentation of oils on our website. And you will be, if you come to that, I'll show you that. There is a scientist by name RBN Prasad. He is an oil scientist in IICT, Hyderabad. And we have this on our YouTube. His presentation is very good, our YouTube channel. And I often post these when people ask me on LinkedIn. So you can see there. So I cannot answer oil directly, but I would suggest a very simple method on microbiome superheroes. you please open a Google form or something and collect all the myths, and we'll get different experts to answer them rather than just one or two. And thereby, it will be a resource for the community anywhere and everywhere to get these myths cleared.
Yes, we'll be sharing the feedback form soon, so they can post their questions probably there. Yes. There's one more question that has come up, Dr. Rao. How do we decide what snacks do we eat that is healthy snacks?
Oh, there is a full presentation again on that. The healthy snack here in the morning is definitely has to have a very high protein. And apart from the science, anything that is healthy has to be tasty too. There is a company in Mumbai called Prolicious, and they made these khakras very healthy. And I invited them to present on healthy snacks. There's a full presentation on that as well. And if somebody takes a little bit of interest at home also, we can have very healthy snacks. One or two are not the only solution. The same dosa, if you want to make it healthy, it's very simple. Add nut powders, hazelnut powder, almond powder to the dosa mix, and then the dosa also comes well, and the taste also will change, and your protein of the dosa is increased, and anything that you add in the chutneys, all of them, if they are colorful ones, they can add other nutrients to the dosa. And the so is case with idli, so is case with paratha. Whichever you want to make, if you can add high protein nut powders, that's an easy way to consume without spoiling your denture or your teeth. This is what we practice.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rao, for the wonderful, wonderful presentation as usual, and for all of the answers for all the questions. Thank you everyone for joining for this wonderful first session. We have the feedback form also posted on the chat here. So please fill out the form, and we are bringing in a lot more interesting presentations like this, covering very different aspects of things that impact the microbiome. So here we are looking at nutrition because it is very, very important to improve the gut microbiome. So we are going to bring in even more presentations. Do express your interest on this. And we are going to have educational series in this where we bring international speakers every month. Thank you so much, Dr. Rao. Thank you, everyone. Have a very, very good evening. Please make sure to fill the feedback form. It's in the chat below. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us on this series. Looking forward to seeing you all in future series as well. Thank you, Dr. Rao, for this wonderful presentation. Certainly,
I'll be in
certain
Pune
myths
soon.
busted. Yes, we should meet up when you're here. Let me know. I'm in Pune, based in Pune, so let me know.
Thank you. Shall I leave?
Thank you all. I have posted the link again. Yes, Dr. Rao. Thank you so much. I have posted the link for the feedback form. Yeah, that should work. I'm also posting the link for our website. We also have an amazing series of podcasts coming up on our YouTube channel. So this was covered live on our YouTube channel. I'm going to post a link of our channel. It's Microbiome Superhero. do check that out for very good insights about the microbiome, the human microbiome. Yeah, so I've just posted the link for the YouTube channel as well.